The apocalypse.
What is going on, guys? We are back today with another Genshin Impact video, and we are doing a full in-depth guide on Diluc. So I just wanted to say I actually got him in a single wish. It wasn't even a 10 pull, it was just a single pull. Now if you want to check out that clip, it's on twitch.tv/LuRan. As you can see, this guy does a lot of damage. When I first got him, I was like, okay, what's the hype about him? I don't understand where his damage comes from. He does no damage. What's going on? So this is why I took a while to make a video about him, a full in-depth guide, because I really had to understand and learn everything about him before I could actually make this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. A few things to start off with. I am currently AR37, level 70 Diluc here. Let me just talk about attributes and weapons and artifacts. We're going to talk about the whole thing. He has 16,581 HP, 1758 attack, defense 892, max stamina 232. Now we're gonna go for the weapon. So the weapon is the Skyward Pride, which I hear, other than, I think the sword's called Wolfsbane. Other than that, that sword, this claymore here is his best in slot. Now a lot of you guys have been asking me in my previous guide videos, you know, what's a good 4-star weapon? Or what's a good alternative, because obviously 5 stars are hard to get, and you know, I heard you loud and clear, and so with that being said, I will recommend a 4-star weapon for him as well. Let's read the stats of this. So the base attack is 506, energy recharge 30.3%, which is actually really important because this build is completely based off of his Q and his E abilities, but Q specifically, especially for the sword. So Sky Ripping Dragon Spine increases all damage by 8%, so literally all damage. So physical attacks, elemental bursts, everything. So really good. Normal or charge attack on hit creates a vacuum blade that does 80% of attack as damage to enemies along its path, lasts for 20 seconds or 8 vacuum blades. This right here is just additional damage. I'll showcase you exactly, or I'll show exactly what this proc is in a second, but it's basically more DPS. So the biggest thing about artifacts that I've come to learn, I've tested several things. I've tested Berserker, Gladiator, Martial Artist, like I've tested quite a bit. It turns out, in my personal opinion, or at least in this video, the Crimson Witch of Flame set is the best set for him. In fact, I think it's actually designed for him. So it's a 4-piece set bonus. And let me read it out to you guys. Well, the first of all, the 2 set is pyro damage plus 15%, which is great. And then the 4 pieces increases overloaded and burning damage by 40%, increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%, using an elemental skill, increases 2-piece set effects by 50% for 10 seconds, max 3 stacks. Now the 3 stacks is really important because of his E ability. Because he's able to do his E 3 times, this can get the stack immediately, and we'll get right into it as we get through the video. So here are the artifacts, guys. Let's go ahead and start with this one, which is Heart Flames, 34.8% attack. These stats aren't the best stats rolled. If you're going to want to have good stats, you're going to want to roll things like attack up, attack percent up, crit rate up, and crit damage. Those are the ultimate. If you're able to get a roll like that, that's considered the god roll. But it's plus 16, that's the max level that you can get for purple artifacts at 34.8% attack. Moving forward, we got Witch's End Time, 34.8% attack. Again, not the best. You would want to have attack percent up, crit damage, crit rate, all that stuff. So this isn't the best, and I would be willing to swap it out again when I find a better one. Which is Ever Burning plume. Not the best, once again. But a flat attack 232, which is Flower of Blaze. This one's not too bad. We got crit rate up, crit damage up, but defense and defense. So would hope for some attack damage on some of my artifacts, but until I grind out the domain a bit more and maybe find some better artifacts, we're gonna have to deal with this set currently. Now, because I have the 4-set bonus, I have 1 free slot available, and I decided to add on this hat, which adds 31.1% critical rate. You guys could sub in any piece that you want. This is the one that I'm using to go with a critical build for him. I love critical hits. Let's also check out his details here. So his crit rate is 48.8%, basically 50%. 1 in every 2 hits is a critical, which is quite nice, and crit damage is 60.4%. So 60% more damage from critical hits at a 50% rate. Not bad at all. As far as constellation goes, I do not have any constellations for him. He is just, you know, a single pull. Talents are really expensive as you get through the game, guys. This isn't as high as his talents can be, and for those of you that don't know, you can level up your skills. Now, to level up your skills, they require these materials, and it adds up. You know, over time, it's really hard to farm them. The resin, it takes a lot. So currently, his skills are level 5. This is his normal attack, where he can perform up to 4 consecutive strikes. Charge attack drains stamina over time to perform continuous slashes. At the end of the sequence, performs a more powerful slash than the plunging attack. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about that. Searing Onslaught performs a forward slash that deals pyro damage. This skill can be used 3 times consecutively, enters cooldown if not cast again within a short period. So you got to make sure that you use all 3 of his slashes the time that you activate it. According to the comboing and what I've gathered, you can do 2 normal or basic slashes in between every time you use an E. So it's E, 2 slashes, E, 2 slashes, E, right? Then Dawn, his ultimate crazy damage, releases intense flames to knock nearby enemies back, dealing pyro damage. The flames then converge into the weapon, summoning a phoenix that flies forward and deals massive pyro damage to all enemies in its path. The phoenix explodes upon reaching its destination, causing a large amount of AoE pyro damage. The searing flames that run down his blade causes Diluc's normal and charge attacks to deal pyro damage for a time. This build is based completely on his Q. And his Q always recharges. As long as you have his Q recharging, his damage is going to be optimal, right? Because he coats his sword in pyro damage. Really, really important to go with the artifact set that I showed you earlier. Now, we got Relentless. Deluxe charge attack. Stamina cost is decreased by 50% and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. So this is really nice. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But the stamina cost being decreased means you could literally, in quotation, spin to win almost like forever. It's a really nice passive ability. Blessing of the Phoenix. Now this is something that you can only get when you ascend your characters to level 70 or Ascension level 4. So with that being said, here's his passive ability. The Pyro enchantment provided by Dawn lasts for 4 seconds longer. Additionally, Diluc gains 20% Pyro bonus damage during the duration of this effect. So the moment he casts Q, his sword, or his claymore I mean, is enchanted for an extra 4 seconds, which is really nice. So he does more damage in Pyro for even longer. And not only that, on top of that, his Q ability also makes his pyro damage 20% increase. So the moment you do his Q, you're going to get stronger slashes, and the E ability is going to be improved as well. So this is a very nice passive ability that you get at Ascension rank 4. Refunds 15% of the ores used when crafting claymore type weapons. This is going to get right into my recommendation for another 4-star weapon, which is actually the craftable 4-star claymore. So I'll just show you guys. I haven't actually put resources into it because it is expensive, but let me just read it out to you guys. So this one can be created or crafted in any blacksmith in Mondstadt or Liu. Prototype Aminus. So it has attack, boost, and a base attack of 44, but the attack percent is nice. But this is even nicer. So Crush. On hit, normal or charged attacks have a 50% chance to deal an additional 240% attack damage to enemies within a small AoE. Can only occur once every 15 seconds. Not bad for a 15-second cooldown, but that's massive damage. The reason why I recommend this one is because it's craftable, and with that being said, you can actually enhance and refine it. So the more you craft, the more you can get this next rank. So I'm going to be going into this domain, guys, and this is my party setup. You might be wondering why I have Amber in the party. I'm just using her for the elemental resonance. So for those of you who don't know, if you have 2 pyros, you get increased attack by 25%. So this makes Diluc stronger, of course, and we're just going to be showcasing Diluc here. No one else, no comboing or anything like that. We're just going to show Diluc. Before we begin, we're just going to go ahead and show you some of his movesets. So here is his normal attack or basic attack. 4 slashes. There it is. And here is his charged attack. And because of his passive ability, it goes on for a very long time. So his passive ability decreases the stamina by 50%. So if you do want to use this skill, it can dish out a lot of DPS. You just have to make sure you don't get hit. The moment you get hit, I believe it cancels the animation, and you'll have to start from scratch. Alright, and his E ability will show you 2 ways of how you can use it. We'll show you just spamming E, and then we'll also show you with basic attacks in between. I really like Diluc because his playstyle is very smooth. And at this point in time, I believe he is the only character that can use an E multiple times. So without further ado, this is the E. That's the 3 spam right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in some autos. So we can start with the E, auto, E, auto, E. Now we can do it a 3rd time just to show you guys that you can do 2 autos in between every E, just to be safe. So E, auto, auto, E, auto, auto, E. So that would be the comboing for him. Pretty plain and simple. And then his Q ability is where he sends out Dawn, a giant pyro phoenix. But we're going to go ahead and start the domain just to show you the damage. So right now I'm showing you the comboing, but I also need to clarify and show you how his artifacts work. Now remember guys, we are using the Crimson Witch of Flame set. We need to get the elemental skill increases 2-piece set effects by 50% for 10 seconds. We need to stack this every time. 3 stacks. This is why this set is designed for Diluc, because we need to use the E 3 times to make sure that the pyro damage bonus gets as high as it possibly can be. Now, if my calculations are correct, the 3-stack bonus will fully increase the 2-set bonus to 37.5% pyro damage bonus. So let's just say 40, okay? Round up to 40 to make it easier. So you want to make sure you get the set bonus right away, because you don't just want 15%, you want the 40%. That's how you deal the most damage. So we need to stack his pyro damage up by using the E's in between, and it's going to get stronger every time. So now it's maxed at 3 stacks. We should be able to use the Q, and it should do massive damage. And then his Q should be charged up again. And we can go ahead and use his Q ability again. As you can see, it's dealing big damage, 6.5k. His autos are now infused. So let's do this again. Now, with the Skyward Sword, the reason why it's so good is because you can see it's shooting out these little vacuum blades that are dealing an additional damage on top of the basic attacks. I like doing this domain because these slimes have a pre-existing element affiliated to them. Now what that means is, if it's an electro slime, it has the electro effect on it already. You do not need a character to apply electro damage, then to switch over to Diluc to hit the overcharged damage. So when you hit an electro slime, it's going to do the overcharged damage. And that's really important because when you see the overloaded and burning damage, it's 40%. And it means they overloaded, I mean. Vaporize and melt damage by 15%. This all means any slime that you fight, you're gonna be proccing these hits simply because they already have the element on them. But if you're traveling out in the world as Diluc, you're going to want to use characters such as, like, say, Chi-Chi or even Kaya. Fischl is a good one to apply the status effects, so then that way Diluc can proc his artifact where it deals 40% more damage. In this case, I have Chi-Chi, and if I was exploring around the world, I would use her E, switch back to Diluc, that way it applies the cryo element, and then he can hit more damage. But in this case, if we look back to the artifacts, vaporize and melt damage is only 15%. So the strongest combination right now is Electro. Electro and Pyro, he does an extra 40%. So that's pretty much all there is to it. So a few things that you want to remember is that his E ability needs to charge up his 4-set bonus from the Witch set. Also, his overloaded damage does the most. So you're going to want to make sure you have a character such as Fischl or any other Electro character to apply Electro status onto whatever you're fighting, so then that way when you switch over to Diluc, he does maximum damage. His Q ability is very important in his build. You're going to want to be consistently having it up and proccing it constantly, and you're going to be switching from Q and E back and forth, so that way it's always up all the time. So let me know what you guys thought about the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be a special video incoming for you guys at 1,000 subs. Once again, guys, you guys have been supporting the channel so much, and I'm absolutely freaking... I can't even describe how I'm feeling about it. It makes my day every single day, and I'm just going to keep grinding these videos out and answering or replying back to all your comments. Let me know if I did anything wrong, or let me know if you'd want to see anything else. And with that being said, I'm out, guys. Peace.